Savaged Unfiltered.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
There we go again.
More technical problems. We live in the 21st century.
Savaged Unfiltered.
Literally, not only should we not be supporting, but we gave $30 billion. Did you know we gave $30 billion this weekend?
Your host, Michael Gardner. Like a Hellcat.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome to Savaged Unfiltered, guys. Joining me here is the one and only from the Sosh Report coming at you, Soslin Tebeson, guys. We're going to bring him on momentarily. He is here in the livable green room here of Savaged Unfiltered. So, guys, I got some amazing lineup here. Announcements here. I got to get on the show. Very, very important. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to a long-time partner here on the show, Photo Room. Guys, you've been fucking great. You fucking got the posters out for me and everything. All those posters I was creating on the show, guys, was through Photo Room. It was us designing it, but Photo Room was the ones that were licensing it out. So all those images that you've seen throughout the many months here on the show were all digitally licensed through Photo Room. So thank you very much for giving me my copyrights. But we have decided to pull the plug on our end from Photo Room. Nothing bad. They didn't do anything wrong to us, but we decided to go to other avenues here with another software company. So coming very soon, guys. You probably have been seeing it on Instagram with the many graphics that we've been designing. That is actually through another software piece that we have made part of the show. So with that being said, guys, I want to say thank you very much to Photo Room. It's great that they were part of the show, guys. Thank you very much. But I got some announcements here before we get the show kicking, right? Is that a new one, Shaky? Stick and kicking? There we go. I think that's a fucking a chicken company. I'm not sure. Stick and kicking? Could be. Who knows? Somewhere in Wisconsin or Michigan, probably. But anyway, guys, tomorrow, joining us tomorrow, I'm doing another interview with an OnlyFans sex model. She has her own show, The Curious Girl Diaries. Is it Desires or Diaries? Shaky, you're making me look like an asshole, man. I'm butchering the hell out of my show. My God, fucking throw fucking notes at me or something. Jeez Christ. No, Shaky, don't throw the damn note at me. God damn it, man. Anyway, sorry I swore. Anyway, she is an OnlyFans model and a sex model. So she does both. And she runs her own podcast called The Curious Girl Diaries by the name of Layla London. That will be on the show tomorrow. That will be a audio podcast, guys. So that will drop around 4 or 5 p.m. on iHeart and Spotify. Also, too, guys, we're doing another episode with Suzanne Posel. She is a left-wing liberal out of the state of Arizona. And it's going to be rather interesting picking her bone on politics. I hope I don't scare her off. I hope Soslin doesn't scare her off by his charm. Anyway. And then in January, guys, we got some amazing shows on January. I got to get these shows out before I forget them. We have Carrie Ann Gulliver joining the show. She is actually from America's franchise matchmaker, and she considers herself the greatest gift to talent. Well, we're going to find out about that, guys, in January from Caroline, because I got a amazing amount of questions to ask her. And then on the 17th of January, guys, we're going to have Dr. Shosanna Levin Fox joining us from the capital of Israel. Yes, guys, we're going to get some politics, and we're going to get into amazing content with this woman. So that will be on the 17th. Like I said, joining
Savaged, unfiltered.
But without a further ado, guys, I want to bring in the co-host here to the show that joins us from time to time, Mr. Jocelyn and Anyway, how the hell are you, buddy?
I'm good. How about
I
you?
gave you the drum roll. You better fucking start speaking, man. Anyway, yeah, I'm good.
What happened? The camera completely went out.
The camera? No, the camera's on.
Oh, you're all black, though.
Oh. I'm white. I'm not black.
No, well, I can't see anything. It's fine.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. It's okay.
It's fine. So how's it going?
Just seeing, but it's all right.
What's that?
I'm doing good. Sas, I want to get into this story here with you,
Yes.
which I discussed off the air. You know, I don't do this with everybody. I always discuss off the air with Sasa what we're going to talk about, you know, to kind of give him like somewhat of what he's in for. Sometimes I do it on purpose, and I don't tell the guests whatsoever what the hell we're talking about. Sorry, guys, I gave a little secret out on the Savage Unfiltered. But I want to talk about this topic, guys, on Savage Unfiltered with what's going on with the churches, religion, spirituality, guys, where I'm going to discuss this episode to be called Religion Divides, Spirituality Unites. And I think that's really, really true today in the spiritual and religion world of spirituality, if you want to call it that. Now, Sas, what is your insights, man, on this?
Oh, boy.
I know I hear every Sunday, and hey, that's okay, man. But I hope I'm not offending you by saying this, but I truly believe, buddy, that the church is dividing somewhat of the spirituality that we see today.
Well, not only you have to look beyond the church, though, too. I mean, you have to look at the people that are influencing the church. You have to look at, you know, there's a lot of underlying issues going on, you know, and there's a reason why there's a huge movement of people going outside the churches, because it's becoming woke agenda taught. On Sunday, for instance, you have the Methodist Church preaching on wokeness and having transgender alphabet people in the churches. Well, that's good. That's not good on any means, and people are just tired of it, and so they're leaving out in droves, and they're splitting the churches, and that's what you're seeing. And you're seeing a huge fallout between the churches too, and between the denominations within the Christianity. And not only that, but then you have people resorting to spirituality, and that's why it's becoming such a hot topic issue now.
Yeah, it is becoming a hot topic issue. And why do you think that is, Sas? Like, I know you mentioned the alphabet people, man. They want to make their presence in the church. They want to preach that garbage because it's garbage.
It is.
Folks, listen to this. Hold on, Sas. Listen to this, man. You go to church on a Sunday. You want to hear somebody preaching the word of God. You want to hear somebody preaching how change can happen in the community. You don't want to hear some fucking half-wit drag queen Looney Tune clown in the damn church preaching that nonsense, because it's garbage, Sauce. It really is, man.
It is, and I couldn't agree with you more. And another thing is that so many the teachings in the churches in this new day and age are becoming watered down. So they're not growing. A person's not growing closer to God. They're not growing a closer relationship with. They're not growing a closer relationship with Jesus. So therefore they're moving outside the churches. You know, I've seen people now, and I spoke with people that are saying that, well, we stopped going to church because it's just starting to become like a club, you know, per se. and it's becoming more of a get together instead of growing and developing and strengthening the walk with Jesus Christ. And it's starting to become more. It's not becoming strong anymore. It's becoming very weak, and it should be very concerning.
Yeah. I noticed that when you talk about this
Savaged, unfiltered.
issue, which you have discussed on your show, the Sosh Report, on several occasions, you got into the mega pastor there, Joel Osteen.
Yes,
I feel that this guy is more than a pastor. I feel that he's going into that celebrity bracket of a pastor, where he's making it more of a Hollywood type of soundstage than an actual church, man.
Well, and then you also look at this though. All right, the reason why you also have a lot of people leaving is because they're seeing the hypocrisy within the church. When you donate your money. For instance, you know how much Joel Osteen made last year?
It was a lot.
$90 million. He brought in $90 million. And he has 3 houses, 3 private jet planes. And I'm like, okay, no wonder why people are leaving, because it's a hypocritical kind of a thing, saying that, well, if we're going to give money, like all these mega church pastors, like TBN, the pastor on TBN, he just bought a new private jet plane, and he got caught with it and said, why did you need to buy a new private jet plane? And he said that God blessed me with it. I said, no, God doesn't bless anyone with a new private jet plane. I mean, he doesn't bless anyone with a brand new house. You're kind of distorting what the blessing is. You're distorting what God says in our hearts. You're messing it up. You're making it towards you and thinking, well, I have to somehow make it about me, and I have to take away from the people. And it's interesting because you know how much the church is bringing billions of dollars every year. Now imagine if you decided to put that to good use. Imagine if you fed the homeless. Imagine if you focused on your community. We wouldn't be having these major issues that we're having out, like the homeless issue. We wouldn't be having drug issues. We wouldn't be having kids going outside and robbing stores. We wouldn't be having it. Instead, we'd be having a whole different outreach, and that President Trump wanted, but he never got it because he had the Democrats counteracting his every move. And we're seeing it even on Twitter now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're seeing it all the time. And speaking of Twitter now, I've noticed that Twitter is starting to stand up for free speech. Thank you very much for doing that, Elon.
Did you hear what happened last night, though?
Yeah, there was a poll that was put out. I noticed.
Did you vote for it?
I vote for what?
Did you vote for it to keep?
Did I vote for Elon Musk standing up for freedom?
No, there was a poll where Elon Musk said, hey, you know what? If you guys, it depends on your vote and stuff. He's like, vote for, okay, I got to try to put it where. So he posted this saying that.
Vote for stand up freedom, right, Sauce?
No, should I step down as head of Twitter? And then I will abide by the result of this poll. Well, 57% said yes, and 43% said no. The fact that we have free speech now being under attack, and I think Elon Musk really shot himself in the foot when he did this, and it's really sad because he stood up.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, he stood up for freedom, and he stood up for religious freedom, so churches can post, like you see the smaller churches posting like Christian content, and you see even the religious aspect of them posting religious stuff and spirituality stuff on Twitter. But now, with him doing that, it's going to be a major issue now, because what's going to happen with Twitter now?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing, Sauce. I've noticed that he had a policy that just was put out now with other social media companies as some type of thing where they're using the term competitiveness. He doesn't want to have competitive other social media platforms to compete with Twitter, meaning that if you're going to post something on Twitter, it only has to be on Twitter. It cannot be shared to like Instagram, Facebook, or even TikTok.
Sure.
Literally will get. You're going to get suspended. He said you're going to get suspended if you post them on the other platforms, which I think is. I agree, and sometimes I would disagree on that. Because Yeah, go ahead.
Well, look what Truth Social just did. In order for Truth Social to compete, now I just got an update this morning where I updated my phone where you can direct message people on True Social now. You can direct message, which you can do before. And I think with what's going on with Twitter and stuff, and I think a lot of people, and here's where you see the errors in this. Because here's how this all correlates back to Christian spirituality. You have people that are so honed in on believing on President Trump, they'll do anything for him. For instance, the NFT, the NFT card that pulled out. You have people that are like so fanatics that literally worship President Trump, and now that's putting a bad picture on the Christian faith. Just because President Trump did great things doesn't mean he's a saint, and doesn't mean he's a god.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You talk about President Trump is. Do you believe he's religious, or do you believe he's more spiritual?
I believe he's 100% spirituality.
Okay, so you believe he follows more of a spiritual path than a religious path, then?
100%, yeah.
So he's like me, Sauce. I mean, like Donald Trump and I, we're similar in some ways. That we both grew up in Queens, New York, and we have that demeanor. Yes, we do believe in a higher power, but we believe that, hey, you can be your real self, and if you swear. I believe in swearing. Now, a lot of people would be like, "Oh my God, Michael's the Antichrist and this and that." No, folks, I'm not like that. I believe that sometimes it is okay to say a swear, but to get your meaning across.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember something. If you're going to sugarcoat everything and you're going to fake a persona, Sauce, then you're not a true. You're not a true person. You're a fake. You're a fraud.
You are.
I've said this many times.
So, what is your thoughts then on people like worshiping President Trump?
Worshiping him? I don't worship President Trump. I don't think anybody should worship a president. I think that term is used loosely today. I think that's a liberal term. I think that by people saying that they're going to worship a president, that's like a cult. That's yeah.
Shouldn't that be concerning though? For like, shouldn't President Trump make a statement say, you know what? No, there's no worshiping people. Because then you're trying.
Well, it should be concerning.
Michael Gardner, unfiltered.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Sauce. It's concerning, man. It should be concerning, because this is not coming from the Republican Party or the MAGA Party, right? It's not coming from the GOP. It's coming from the far left goons in media.
Yeah.
They want to spear up this hatred of people thinking that Donald Trump has grown into a godlike status of the specter of politics, like where people worship him and they look at him as a god. He's not a god, folks. He's just a man, an outsider that got shit done for the American people. And you know what, Sus? People are starting to see that. Even leftist liberals are starting to see that Donald Trump is more than a man. He's a public figure. He more than enough for him, but I don't think anybody should be, worshiping somebody. I mean, that's silly.
Well, I mean, you also have to look at the media. The media plays like MSNBC, MSN, and all these propaganda media pushing. They have to, for instance, it was interesting that CNN, when the Mar-a-Lago got raided, and that the media portrayed as if something traumatic happened, and then what happened? The supporters showed up, and and then they said that there are people that worship him, and then they distort it. And I think that's what the MSN or MSN. I think that's what the media companies do. They distort it to make it their own. It's really sad. They can make or break somebody.
Well, it's narrative, Sauce. They're creating narrative. That's what they're doing. They're creating narrative over fact, and that's the media, man. But the media, Sauce, has never always been like this. They back in the day, in the 80s, man, when I grew up, I would notice that the media was an entire different platform. They covered news. You had local news, about maybe 10, 15 minutes of international news, and then that was it. And then they go into another segment. Now it's like it's a soap opera. It's a reality show. That's what it is.
And then it's like a dog, and then they don't report on anything new. they pretty much say, okay, you know what? Okay, I vomited. All right, just like a dog, he eats a vomit and then he pukes in a different place. But it's still the same thing. But it's like on a different show.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, the whole thing is
Yeah.
that. What is your thoughts on this whole like Christianity dividing the church, and what is your thoughts on the spirituality sense? Because you're a spiritual person, and I understand. Like, I mean, I think. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? Because I did the talking, but I want to hear your standpoint on it.
Well, have always questioned me, man, on my spiritual belief, and people have questioned me on my religious belief, and I've gave two different types of answers. For one, guys, I'm not religious. I don't believe in practice religion. I believe that you can receive the higher power of the message without going to a church. You can receive it in an open field, woods, anywhere. Our nature, folks, that is the higher power. He's all over the place, or she's all over the place. A lot of people are like, is God a man or a woman? I don't know. I would think it would be both, actually. God can represent a female and also represent a male in the same aspect. And that's my own personal opinion. Now, I might get people that will like to challenge me on that fact, but there is a lot of teaching that come out of the Buddhist religion. Even Native Americans have believed this at one form or another, where God can represent both aspects of, like I said, a female and a male. I don't want to paint the picture that the higher power is a male. I believe it's both, and that may sound kind of crazy, but I am a spiritual guy. I've always been a spiritual guy. That's just who I am. I don't think I'll ever change. You know what it is? Hold on, man. I just think going outside, I can go outside and talk to somebody, and that's real, man. You go inside into a building that's like going onto a soundstage at a Hollywood set and reading off of a script. You're not giving that personal connection with one another. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that. I've seen that with youth groups too. Young little college groups. They have these youth groups, and they go to like Starbucks or Panera Bread for like a half hour, 40 minutes, depending on how much they are allowed there before they kick them out. And they have what's that?
And they get the free Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. They get the water cups, but Sasha's really getting the Dr. Pepper. Yeah, we have had that on the show a couple weeks back.
I love to joke with that.
Funny as hell episode. But like they have the group outside usually at a Panera Bread or Starbucks, and they're talking with one another. That is so fucking real, man. Like, if you go to a church, man, you can't have the same dialogue, the same character of a conversation in a church that you can have outside with a group. It's so much different, Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing with your the word about, like you mentioned, the word God, and saying that God is a woman and God or can be a man. So I personally think what we have to look at is when you think of somebody in your figure, because they have all these movies that portray God as, they had one, I think, where Whoopi Goldberg or Oprah was God and stuff, and they had one where God was a man and stuff. I think we have to look at it because our interpretation or what we think doesn't comprehend to what God thinks. For instance, we want to picture God as a loving father, a loving companion, or as a creator that made something or created the earth. And then we also want to think that God is he protects those whom he loves, and also he's the one that gives us everlasting life when we pass away. But the fact is, there's only two people in the Bible that have ever met, that have saw the face of God, because none of us really know what God actually looks like. Because if you read in the Christian Bible, when Moses was getting his 10 commandments from God, he had to be in the cave because God's holiness was so vast, and that if you saw him if you and I were to see him right now, we'd be dead, because we have to be born again. We would have to be up to his stature of holiness, so we're not, and that's why. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I was going to say something. I agree with what you're saying, Sas, to an extent. And, you know, some people will paint the image of it to be different. You know, there have been movies across Hollywood that express this. I know a movie that I worked on as a movie extra, Beeline movie. And there was a few other movies, Mel Gibson, The Passion of Christ, which I have watched many times, and that paints a perfect picture on how ancient Israel was so many years ago, thousands of years ago, folks, where, you know, but I know they're Hollywood movies, but it's a movie that you have to look at to like try to understand like what it is. You know, obviously humanity really hasn't changed in the course of 3, 4, 5,000 years. The only thing that's changed over the course of 3, 4, 5,000 years is the way of our society. We're more technically evolved more on a technology type of scale, right? We're more of a technical scale, right? We have more modern technology now. We rely on smart devices and tablets and cell phones and laptops. So I get it, man. I do. I really do. But here's the thing. With all due respect to people that do go to church, like, who's to say things were done differently? And this is coming more of on a spiritual side of my scale. Now, this is where I think that spirituality unites people more than religion. Because in religion, I've mentioned earlier in the show, it to me, Sas, it's more spiritual aspects are less scripted. It comes more from the heart. Like, I could take, for instance, my family, and we can go to a park and have a picnic, and we could be speaking on a scripture of a scale of a conversation. And it's just us out in the elements, filled with godly type of objects that are dirt. And there's different types of objects around. We're surrounding ourselves more with godly objects.
Mm-hmm.
Now, folks are probably like, whoa, Mike's going to a whole new scale, because he normally doesn't talk about this on the show. But I have to get this out, guys, because what I see in the church right now is disgusting. It's filled with hate, sometimes just to get attention. Now, this may offend people in the church. It may. And if it does, I'm sorry. But I'm speaking the truth here. Because I see people that are in the church right now that they're welcoming these type of people, and they're going off of what they're not supposed to be going, Sas. They're supposed to be humble people, but they're inviting people that cause destruction in their own communities and societies. Look at the groomer thing going on, being allowed in modern churches now, right?
Yeah.
Where you have the same type of group. Yeah, it's disgusting, Sas.
Yeah, it should not be allowed by any means. And they're desecrating the church and what was it first of all intended for. You know, they're desecrating the meaning of it. And it's just another branch that the government can't control. At the end of the day, it's all a big government control. Like, who has the most power and who can control the most. And this one way is target the churches. And if you don't agree with the church and stuff, then you don't get your 501c. If you don't get your government grants, then your church is pretty much folded up like a lawn chair and knocked over in the wind. See, it's like, it's a very disgusting thing. It's all based around money and government.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I was just reading this article here, as you see in my in the video, guys. My head going down. AngelusBlade.com, where an LA sheriff and the FBI, local FBI, is now addressing the LGBTQ safety in the church community. And they're basically, in a way, I guess they're, if I'm reading correct, saying that Hollywood's Rainbow District, I love how they address that, the Hollywood Rainbow District, right? After chief patrons at the Abbey, which is a nightclub in downtown Los Angeles, they also use it, Sas, get this, for LGBTQ and rainbow church meetings. Yeah, they're trying to create an entire different type of church where they want to say like there's a YouTube personality that kind of makes scoops out. I forgot his name, but he's all over YouTube where he does like these little memes. I'm sure you've seen it across YouTube, Sauce, where he's like, yay, I'm gay and I'm proud. And this is the land of God where God even loves gay people and transsexual people. What? First of all, I don't care what the hell you do in your bedroom. I don't care what you do in your personal life. But listen.
Savaged, unfiltered.
That type of society, Sauce, into spirituality, you, my friend, are dividing spirituality.
Yep.
You're dividing the church, without a doubt. You're dividing the freaking church, but you're dividing spirituality. You're trying to hijack spirituality. Like, why would you do that? What, because you don't get enough fucking attention? You don't get enough fucking attention. You got to go into a freaking church and try to brainwash people in church. So they know they're going to be easily brainwashed, the people in the church, with all due respect, because the church is easily able to brainwash versus normal people, because people in the church are more humble than the average Joe. And I think that's why they're doing it, Sauce. And if they're doing it for that, that's disgusting, man.
And that's why you target the church. And that's why churches are being targeted, because there's people that have never been, like there's, and for instance, like there's older people that go there, you know, that go there, work on a Saturday or work 6 days a week and then go to church. And then what happens? They see this weird, out of the ordinary pastor come in. And now it's a very demented thing. It's just very sad. It's just not right any means. And something has to be corrected.
Let me say this here as we close it up, guys, because I want to thank Sauce me on this topic. Excuse me. And I know I hope I didn't upset you with the type of demeanor coming out of my vocabulary today, Sauce, but I see it as a spiritual guy myself, man. It's I'm a different type of spiritual guy, guys. I'm not a church going guy. I don't go to church every Sunday or Wednesday or whatever days they normally go to. I believe in receiving the power through, you know, a walk in the woods or a walk for a jog. That's my own aspect of it. But you know, Sas, you go to church, man. You know, your parents, man. I know to my extent are pastors, and I have listened to that last episode that you did with your parents for part 1 on the Sas Report.
That is interesting, isn't it? You got to see a different picture. You got to see a different picture.
Yeah, my question is, man, as a son of a pastor of family that are church going people, do you see that at all in your church with the rainbow people coming to want to participate in the church there?
No, but we see people attacking our church. We see people attacking our church, and we see a lot of people like going, like we now have security at our church for that reason. So they don't, like, because we don't trust any of them. For instance, they like either want to cause harm. So we have, there's a reason, like in the state of Wisconsin and stuff, you have people that don't want to do it peacefully. So they decide they want to cause harm and they want to cause violence. They want you, so that's why we have security. And it's interesting. And, you know, my dad's like, until he is the pastor and stuff, he's not gonna bring in any of that garbage until like he either, is retired.
He's not going to tolerate it, and rightfully so. Yeah, rightfully so. Rightfully so. He's not going to tolerate that garbage, and I praise him for that. Yeah, man.
And that's why our church has grown because of it. And I mean, I'm 100% with him. And and with going to school, becoming for pastoral ministry, I think hopefully I can keep going that. I'm going to carry that baton if everything works out. But you know, at the end of the day, it's all your character. You know, it's all. Are you going to cater down to the left? Are you going to be? You're going to give up your spiritual / moral compasses, so you can be popular, so you can be cool, so you can be, oh, I'm cool because I get to be on all these cool popular shows, and and that because anyway, my dad's in the paper like every week. He's in there, and they put him in the back of the paper compared to the.
Oh, he's a celebrity, Sauce.
well, you and I are.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because you see how people.
Yeah, I get it.
I just find it interesting, and it's been a very humbling experience to be with my dad, and that's how I want to run my church, is the way my dad runs it. Having the church board, and make the proper decisions, and you know what? If you have a person that's got strong and moral compass and values, you're not going to be able to cater towards it. And if you're closer to spiritual, and God, you're going to be feeding off of that holiness, and you're going to be feeding off of that. So that means the bad people aren't going to be able to persuade your idea, because you can also see, I'm also noticing, is you can see the pastors are looking for attention. So they're willing to compromise their religious rights. They're willing to compromise the rights what the America was founded on. They're willing to compromise what all the teachings that they were taught on, so they could be fitting in with the cool kids, and so they can get more money, and that's where the arrogance comes in, and that's where that distorting comes into Christian churches. And I give my dad where the credit's due. He's done none of it, and he stood ground, and he even stood ground of keeping churches open during COVID and saying that it's important not to keep the strip clubs open.
Strip clubs, yeah. But I agree with you, Sas. I really do. But guys, I'm going to close it up here with Soslin. I want to thank everybody that tuned into the episode today. A very heated episode, but a very well addressed episode. It needed to be addressed because what's going on in this damn church, man, today it's disgusting. For those who do believe in the religion, aside from spirituality, we should respect those people instead of trying to divide it, because we see dangerous people that are dividing that. Now, again, guys, I'm gonna close this out. I am not religious, but I do respect those people's beliefs and aspects towards that. But what's going on is disgusting. Guys, I'm going to close it out here. I want to thank Sas for coming on, guys. I want to make an announcement here, the reminder, guys, to join Sas and I tomorrow for the Sas Report Sports Tuesday. It's going to be a really, really interesting show. Highly suggest you check that out on iHeart and Spotify. And
I'm going to a Packer game.
Oh, fuck the Packers.
So, and I got indoor club seats.
Yeah. Damn.
And you know what the temperature is tonight? You know what it's supposed to get down to?
10 degrees.
Minus 14 at kickoff.
Oh
yeah.
God.
And so then they're giving out, and then the cool thing about going to a football game tonight, and now like in Wisconsin, is that they give free mittens and hats.
Free mittens.
Yeah, because it's gonna be minus 14, and
look at the temperature here, guys.
And I know that's. I'm jealous. Well, that's pretty cold.
It show on the camera. On the camera. Sauce on the camera. It shows it backwards though, but if you look at it, it says 68 degrees. So that's Orlando, Florida, guys.
That's kind of cold. And did you also see that this coming week we're supposed to get like a huge amount of snow, like about another, I think, 18 inches? Yeah, and I also
you guys can keep that snow. I don't want it.
What did you hear about Florida? Northern Florida might just get some snow because they're getting like a huge amount of cold weather.
Yeah, just a dusting.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, just a dusting. That's all. It's not exciting. I can't stand it because I hate snow.
When's that supposed to happen?
I hope it never happens.
No. All righty.
Anyway, guys, we're going to get going, Sauce. I got to get going, man. But, guys, I want you to hit that like and follow button on all major podcast platforms. Give a like, 5 stars to Sauce, the Sauce Report on iHeartRadio. Now on Pod Chaser. You can follow him on Pod Chaser, another platform that he just pretty much got launched to, which is great. We're on Podchaser. Never heard of fucking Podchaser.
No, me either.
They're popping up all over the places like roaches. But anyway, guys.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I really don't know, Tom.
You know that? Because I looked up my name.
I don't know. But
or hard podcast.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I'm on hard podcast.
I have no idea, but I hope they're not like these little media platforms that are popping up in the Middle East or something, where the guys are in the fucking cave like, I ain't gonna give you, I gotta go. We're gonna get going.
All right.
We're going to get going, guys. Remember, keep it savage, and we'll see you later. Peace.